Welcome back. WeArEuS and this. This is what it feels like to come home from work. A long day of working on your feet. You put them in one of those little soaking tubs that, maybe even one of the ones that produce the little bubbles, and then you put the aromatics in, and you're sitting there. You have the TV on, eyes closed, thinking of nothing but focusing on the feeling of your feet being absolutely comforted. That feeling right there is this Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. So, in the last episode, I expressed my extreme frustration and discontent with the way they've handled the lexicon of paradox. I'm not happy. I am not happy. The entire point, granted, Morrow was never going to have anything other than like knowledge of the world, which would have been fine, but apparently even Darren has higher knowledge of the world than him. It's a mess. Anyway, let's take care of whatever else this place has to offer and then get back to Velexia. And then we've got the companion quest to deal with. Most importantly, most immediately, the one involving whatever the name of the demon is that Lan wants to kill, because every time I set foot outside, it makes him sick and nauseated. Well, sickened and nauseated, which is annoying. I'll just go ahead and read it. As you know, my dear addressee, given the scope of the planes, time is a relative concept, and in the abyss it can be even more unreliable. Therefore, I do not allow myself the vain hope that my message will reach you in time. So now we just wait, because I can't advance this text on my own. Whereas if it just progressed in a reasonable span of time, I could just pause the game and read it at my leisure. Your final question was about the possibility of a complete awakening of the memories of a mortal life within a soul that has already passed through Pharasma's judgment. I will send you the research on all cases of which I am aware where such an awakening took place. I see this, whoever this person is addressing Arilu Vorlesh. And now we wait. This is fun. So how was your day, guys? Despite the fact that this list is quite extensive, my conclusion is that all such recorded cases are the rarest exception to the rule, and, with the absolute majority of souls, an occurrence such as this cannot happen. And now we wait. Meanwhile, our buffs are ticking down. Both the wonder and the tragedy of mortality lie in the fact that there is a certain moment after which the process is final and irreversible. The essence that departs the judgment of the Lady of Graves is no longer what it was in life, and we, as scientists, must account for this in the system of knowledge we are constructing. You know, to anyone that doesn't play MOBAs, the time between one, how do I put it? The time between one message and the other is pretty much nothing. But for those of us who have played MOBAs and understand just how long a couple of seconds can be, that's agonizing. Hey buddy, what are you guarding? Someone talk to that. Yeah, I'm aware. Let's not have to do that thing with the projector again, shall we? Where am I? If it turns out I'm actually about to run into what's her face, I'm not doing that.
Greetings.
Huh. Okay. Didn't actually expect to run into her anywhere, really.
Greetings, Commander.
What are you doing here? And with suture in tow, no less. She disappeared.
The suture is my servant. I did not expect him to rush into the abyss after me, but I have allowed him to remain with me while I take care of some business. However, you asked what I am doing here. I bring answers. You have walked a long path, one where shadows constantly flicker at the edge of your vision, and questions multiply like flies above carrion. It is time for answers. At least, some of them.
WeArEuS lifts her mirror and you fall into its cold, shimmering depths.
Day 16, Aridus 4715. Experiment, transformation. Subject, let's skip that. Objective, to embed the essence of an Ahindrian crystal in the soul of the subject. Expected result, the essence will coalesce with the subject's soul, which will ready itself for total transformation. Concomitant powers. The time has come to put my plan into action. You are my creation. Your power was my gift. Now you know.
Let's say I believe you. Why do all of this?
You are asking the right questions, but the time has not yet come.
Ah, such special memories. Remember the laboratory, do you? I told you back then. Go on, look around. See all the ones Lady really worked on. Here with us is definitely the place for you.
The dredge grins in satisfaction. The unseen angel does not speak, but his silence seems to thunder in your ears.
Your power is of the same kind as that of Nulkaneth, Jerrybeth, and the other demons that you have met. The power of the Nahindrian crystal dissolved into the blood lies within your soul. I have already hinted at this to you once before, when I left the essence along with the lexicon of paradox in my old laboratory, and ordered the suture to make sure the gift found its way into your hands. But there is more. Do you remember when you were taken to Canobris with a wound that would not heal? Do you remember how Terendelev apparently healed you? That was merely an illusion. The dragon was only able to temporarily dull the pain. In fact, it was I who saved you, when I came to you in the caves and implanted a crystal within you. No, saved is not the right word. Your wound is still not healed. That is why your wound weeps blood from time to time, every drop of which burns your enemies.
As if to confirm her words, blood begins to seep from the wound on your chest. Eerie flames seem to dance within the crimson drops.
This is pure essence of Nahindrian crystal. My invention is far superior to the crystals used by Xanther, which were barely refined at all. It will give you new strength and help you to overcome numbers within your soul. Take it. Take it, and you will see that this is the very power that has lived in you since the Battle of Canobris.
Not much of a threat. Look at me. Before you know it, I'll be a decrepit heap of flesh just like some. But I still manage to keep living somehow.
That's not going to work. You need to tell me everything first.
Very well, then. Ask your questions and I will answer.
What is this wound in my soul? How dangerous is it?
It was my mistake. My failure. I failed to... The tale is too long to recount here. Your wound is a reflection of the world wound in a way. It is very dangerous, even if you do not yet realize it. It is not a disease, but rather an abscess, which will one day burst and kill you. It cannot fully be healed until the world wound is healed. No doubt you have felt this affliction on several occasions. It awakens when you use your power. It makes you sense more strongly what mortals call the corruption of the abyss. Until the world wound is healed, you will have no peace.
And oddly enough, she seems determined to empower me to do so. Whether or not she actually wants that to happen is another thing entirely. Or, at the very least, she instead doesn't want to empower me to do so, but empower me to enable me to survive the so-called abscess. Naturally, I think we're just going to go in order and find out everything there is to know. Ultimately culminating in option number 7. But first, you followed me.
Like a witch in a fairy tale, I watched over you from birth. From before that, even. And I kept detailed notes. You were chosen and prepared for a special destiny. I am pleased to see that you still wear them. I enchanted them specially to protect you from danger. I am glad you found my gift useful.
Just so we're clear, I still have the bracers, I just don't wear them. And no one else can wear them, just so we're clear. I always found that odd. It didn't occur to me once to question if they came from her. I knew she had something to do with us thanks to all of the cutscenes from way back before we ended up down here. I'm frankly disappointed in myself for not having questioned that sooner. I'd have still left them in the inventory because why not? They're not particularly useful, but it's not like they sell worth anything, so there's that.
Aside from this, I helped you, even when you were unaware of my presence. I saved you and your unfortunate companions when you fell into the crevice in Canalbras. In the Grey Garrison, it was I who distracted Minago to allow you to approach the Wardstone. And in Dresden, I appeared under the guise of Yaniel to guide you toward the Sword of Valor. And I also left you a present in my old laboratory, and told the Suture to see that you received it. I knew that sooner or later you would find your way there. That place exerts a powerful pull.
I like the third one. We already know she doesn't really care about the plans of the Demon Lords. Frankly, according to what we know, the creation of the World Wound was incidental, and possibly even part of her deal with Baphomet to get her out of the prison she was stuck in. I really want to go for the first one, but something speaks to me through the third option. In that case, thank you for your help. You should help me more often.
Certainly, but do not expect me to solve all your problems. A child that is forever carried in its mother's arms will never learn to walk.
Why was the whole ploy with the lab necessary? You even sacrificed your servant, the Suture, for it.
You always have to sacrifice something. I wanted you to go to the laboratory to see with your own eyes what I had been doing and what I am capable of, so it would be easier for you to accept the truth. The laboratory is the place where I prepared your ascent. And the Suture was the only one who I could trust to execute my plan and explain everything. After all, he too once experienced rebirth at my hands, and that is why I was willing to risk his life.
Now, it says that it would be better if you had just told me everything instead of trying to play mind games, but think about it for us, just a split second. Would you have believed any of this without seeing it firsthand? Without seeing the evidence, without seeing that it was possible? The answer is unequivocally no. So, the first one is out, just on that alone. All you know is trickery and deceit. How can I trust you?
Honesty is a luxury we cannot often afford. I don't expect you to understand this now, but at least try to remember it for the future.
Alright. Do we really need to know about the Nihindran crystals? Because we literally just found out the history of the things in the previous episode. I mean, I'm not against listening to WeArEuS talk some more. I'm just questioning if there's anything new for her to say about them. Guess there's only one way to find out.
Nihindran crystals are formed from the solidified blood of demon lords. Their properties are not well known, even among the inhabitants of the Abyss, and there are reasons for this. Acquiring the blood of a dead demon lord is very difficult. After a demon lord dies, their body is instantly absorbed into the Rift of Repose. Only the Lady in Shadow knows how to kill them in a way that allows her to preserve the bodies of her fellow lords and transform them into a solid state. That means that Nihindrian crystals cannot be obtained anywhere other than the Midnight Isles.
Okay.
Or rather, it was impossible until recently, when I managed to experimentally obtain a crystal from the blood of a still living lord. You saw the result. A dagger made from Discari's freshly shed blood, which I left for you in Canabris. As regards the use of the crystals, that is a discussion that would take time, a very long time. Someday I will finish my groundbreaking treatise on the transformation of Nihindrian crystals, although it is unlikely I will ever publish it.
She just does it because she wants to know how it's done, and then she's bored of it. So you figured out how to use crystals to... yes, she did.
Not just any creatures, demons and half-demons. The soul must have a stable connection with the Abyss in order for it to receive the power of the crystal. Experiments involving tieflings and mongrels failed because the voice of the Abyss was not strong enough within them.
And as I already know from having read the second book of Paradox that we just found, apparently Morrow's soul is tied to the world wound rather than the Abyss itself, but since the world wound is a manifestation of the Abyss, it's basically one and the same. I don't see a reason why I couldn't go with either of these options. But I'm not a demon.
I wasn't a demon either when I started. But there are always ways to circumvent, or even to override the laws of the universe. I changed myself by knitting my soul together with the essence of the Abyss. And I changed you. Do you remember the fits of rage that began shortly after Discari's attack on Canabris?
Yeah.
This is how the second half of your soul manifested itself. Not yet fully aware. Not yet awakened. It's a pity you did not choose to let your demonic nature take hold. The result would have been most impressive. All those arrogant crusaders, those knights with their eyes ablaze, those pious priests. They have installed at the head of their magnificent army a scion of the Abyss, the creation of the architect of the world wound, whom they so revile.
See, you want me to accept your help, but then you say things like that. That make me say no. You need to stop. It's strange to see you here in Nocticula's palace. Who do you really serve? Discari? Baphomet?
Both. And neither. I have served both Discari and Baphomet, and not merely as the lowest in the pecking order. But I do not think you'll be surprised when I tell you that to me, both of these mighty lords are merely convenient temporary sources of power. And their time is almost at an end. But the Lady in Shadow is different. She is the preeminent ruler. Soon you will understand this for yourself.
I mean, she's already said that our power is different from Jerebeth, Nolkineth, and the other demons. Hopefully this will get her to expand on that.
Yes, because I taught Xanther and the other servants of Baphomet and Discari the earliest version of this transformation ritual. I spent decades perfecting it until I obtained the power that I gave to you. Power in its most purified form, cleansed of the filth and chaos inherent within the original blood of the demon lords. Your power is as pure as thrice distilled water, but it resonates with other powerful sources of supernatural power, such as the Sword of Valor. And your power can change. You must have realized this already. You have shaped my gift into a form that you yourself have chosen. You are seeking answers, trying to understand the crux of the matter. That is good.
But most of all, what I want to know is this. What do you want from me?
Patience. Before we continue, I want you to receive your power.
Yeah, I won't eat out of your hand, Aurelu, even if it makes me weaker. And that's exactly what I anticipated would happen. You channel all of your power into these words and, strangely, you feel a surge of power within you in response. You turn down what Aurelu Vorlesh offered you and your whole being embraces that choice. A wave of cold washes over your chest and the open wound becomes smaller as if your decision compelled it to shrink.
That effect, how unexpected. It deserves to be studied, but I will see to that later.
Enough of this madness! I was blind. O Lady of Heaven, how blind I was. I saw holiness in the half-fiend's creation.
Ah, and this is the part where yeah, okay.
All your valiant deeds, your resistance in the face of temptation, it was all a deception? Curse the Abyss, and curse Elushanira, where even the most faithful lose their way, and lie, and commit treason. I must save those who can be saved, and break free from the kingdom of darkness.
The angel's voice fades, and you can no longer sense his presence. He's disappeared.
I want to help you close the world wound.
Okay. I'm inclined to believe that. Aurelu's words are cut off by a quiet laugh. Sitting on the throne that was empty just a moment ago is none other than Nocticula, ruler of Elushanira. Oh, my mistake. Elushanira and the Midnight Isles, a powerful demon lord and the one they call Our Lady in Shadow. Her red lips curl into an ironic smile and her large eyes observe you with keen interest.
You were about to say, we are going to close the world wound, weren't you, Aurelu? I see no reason to continue deceiving this mortal. Now I am convinced that he is quite worthy of serving me. I will even reward him with a modicum of knowledge about the events in which he is about to take part.
Cool guys don't get flustered by demon titties. So first off, we nod calmly. My greetings, Lady Nocticula. But before I actually select this, let's make sure there's nothing interesting that we could also choose. Specifically, getting Ember an audience with her. Which, is just going to be amusing. I unfortunately already know what'll happen, if I can figure out how to make it happen. Yeah.
Such an impenetrable face you have, mortal. It hides your heart well. I have had my eye on you for a very long time. You see, it was at my behest that Lady Vorlesh imbued you with such incredible powers. But I was curious to see your worth as an individual, not as Lady Vorlesh's creation. Thus, I decided to postpone our meeting and see how you'd fare in Alushanira, and whether or not you could win respect and power among those not so easily impressed by outstanding magical abilities. Well, you've passed my test adequately by proving that your character and your will are stronger than the Nehindrian powers Lady Vorlesh has vested in you.
You are wise, my lady. However, only those who have never known or forgotten what it is like to be mortal can so easily dismiss the importance of power. To be someone whose life is fragile and can be cut short at any moment, like a candle snuffed out by a gust of wind.
It is a shame your angel has left you, mortal. I would have liked to talk to him. I don't expect I will get another chance, as that celestial buffoon's days are numbered.
You were able to see the hand of the Inheritor despite all his enchantments.
The herald of that upstart goddess. Here.
Yes, although his defenses were quite intricate. A commendable precaution on his part, as word of the hand of the Inheritor descending once more into the abyss reached the Echo of Discari almost immediately. Mind you, vindictiveness and guile have always been among his best qualities.
The hand of the Inheritor. The hand of the Inheritor told me his magic deceived the eyes of all evil spawn of the abyss, but not yours?
Perhaps you don't know everything about me yet, mortal. Perhaps you made the same mistake as many before you, and many who were more insightful and more powerful than you, by presuming to know what to expect from the Lady in Shadow.
Tell me about the Echo of Discari.
He is a strange creature, a bespoke creation, so to speak. Long before the world wound was opened, Discari, that little cricket, was seeking a way to have some fun on Galarian and assert his influence there. One day, he decided to gather a few strong mortal followers, fuse them together into one being, and pump that being full of his own power, in the belief that something worthwhile would come of it. That is how the Echo came to be.
Okay.
To the great dismay of both the Echo and the Lord of Crickets, the Echo was greeted by Eredin, protector of humankind. Eredin gave the Echo such a thorough thrashing, the whole abyss thought him dead. And yet he was not. Cricket, the younger, is alive and well, though I cannot say the same for Eredin. But the Echo remembers his humiliation still. He hates anything and everything related to Eredin, especially his inheritor, Iomade. Her heralds, her priests, her temples. He would hate Iomade's pet pug, if she had one.
Well, that sort of answers question number 3, doesn't it? But since they're voicing this themselves, I'm going to let their voices wash over me. And you. I kind of forgot you were here, but thanks. Let's continue.
Envy, humiliation, ego. The usual playthings of little boys from all planes and realities. The Echoes suffered more than one defeat. First in Eredin's hand, then under the onslaught of the forces of heaven. Those routes taught him to attack his enemies by stealth, boldly and often, killing and crippling anyone close to the light-bringing goddess. Now, it seems, he has decided the time has come. The Herald of Iomade himself is in the abyss alone, without a retinue of lesser angels.
Ah.
He's an interesting little bird, that angel. Before he became the Herald of Iomade, he served Regathiel, the General of Vengeance. I've always found the fate of that Imperial Lord to be quite fascinating. Did you know that the father of the Upper Plains' top military leader was a devil from hell? Regathiel had to achieve many feats to redeem his unholy legacy in the eyes of the other Imperial Lords. But he did. A remarkable tale, is it not?
A demon lord becoming, well, a devil becoming an angel. I just want that to sink in for you guys. Your conversation is interrupted by a concerned-looking succubus who silently approaches Nocticula and then begins fervently whispering into her ear. Nocticula's expression turns hard and cold. As she ponders the new development, the messenger makes eyes at you playfully. You recognize those green eyes, except they were awash with pain when you last saw them, their owner bleeding out in the caverns of the Nexus. The succubus smiles slyly and gives you a wink.
Another island, another loss. Enough. I warned them that I would not stand for the desolation of my realm. They have not heeded me, and they will regret it. Go to your sisters and tell them to prepare.
Nocticula sends the green-eyed servant away and turns her face to you once more. I don't see any point of actually bringing that up. But what if I get a reward for being involved in her survival? Maybe. Possibly. Frankly, I'm just curious to see what the response would be. Curse this chaotic nature of mine. That green-eyed succubus. I know her.
Yes, you've already met Laulia, my talented assistant. I've heard she was very convincing at acting out her tragic death in the mines of the Nexus. As you can see, I've been watching you since your very first moments in the Abyss. And even a little earlier. I have prepared a beautiful
There it is.
that will topple many of your enemies and seal the world wound forever, ending the threat to Galarian. And you have the chance to become part of that intrigue.
Yeah, that's all very cool. Yeah, intrigue and plots. Yeah, but my companion Ember would like to speak with you.
Ember? So that's her then? Well, approach. I have heard you bleating your pathetic prayers at me. You have some nerve addressing me with such nonsense. Did you think I would simply repent? Renounce my status as a demon lord? Do you have any idea what I had to do to acquire it? Wait, what is this?
Oh, this is going to be good. Tears are rolling down Ember's cheeks as she sniffles noisily. She presses her maimed hands against her heart as she stares up at Nocticula. Her fragile form shudders from weeping. Why is this part not voice acted? I don't... It's kind of annoying. Virelli wrinkles her nose in disdain. Why have you brought this simpleton here? This is Elushanir, not Nerosian. We don't give alms here.
I can't stand these noises. Do you think you're the first to try to move me with a display of tears? It only makes me angry. If you wish to speak, then wipe your nose and speak clearly.
I know what you had to do to others and to yourself. I'm so sorry. So sorry. If only I could ease your pain somehow. Calm your sorrows.
It's difficult for me to contain my excitement. But what should we go with? It's one or two. Or should I just say nothing and let her do her work? Do I interject or just let her do this on her own? I believe in her. Let's let her do this.
So, where were we? My pain? My sorrows? What nonsense are you talking? Don't tell me you pity me.
I'm so sorry. You're the most miserable soul I've ever seen. I've seen people burned alive, people being devoured by monsters, people burying their children. They were in pain, so much pain. But I've never seen anyone in as much pain as you.
What is this sacred drivel? What do you even know of me, Nat?
I've seen your city. You were the one who built it. It is the way you wanted it to be. It holds all of your dreams, all of your heart, and everyone in this city is suffering. Everywhere, all the time, every minute. All who live here are hurting and scared. If these are its citizens, how miserable must its ruler feel?
And this is what you brought her to me for. You think this infantile sniveling is worthy of my attention?
I've seen the truth of her wisdom more than once. Perhaps it would benefit you to listen to her as well.
As if I hadn't seen enough sanctimonious bores in my life. So, what do you suggest I do, preacher? Beg the good gods' forgiveness? Devote myself to serving a sword-swinging upstart, perchance? Or that old crone, the moon?
No, no. Gods can't help anyone. They're just like us mortals. Silly, frightened, clueless. You're almost goddess yourself. You know better than anyone that no one can save you. No one except you.
Save me? From what exactly?
From yourself. From what you've done to yourself. From the city you've imprisoned yourself in. Listen, you are a queen, but you're the queen of pain and filth. Your realm is a realm of your own suffering. You're almost a goddess. You can do anything you want. So why won't you make yourself happy? You could become the Redeemer Queen.
Oh, the Redeemer Queen! That's new. Never in all my years have I heard anything like that. Well, child, enough joking. Get out of my sight, or I'm afraid I might decide to keep you here forever as my fool.
Do you think she took my words to heart?
I'm going to go with probably.
That would be great.
Told you to get out! I don't want to hear your squeaky voice again.
I don't know what this one is related to. Did WeArEuS really create me? Why is... It's just... I just find it a little odd that there are things here and there that aren't voice acted. The gist of it is, yeah, I was basically created to close the world wound, which she opened as a way to basically free herself from prison. I don't remember if it was Baphomet or Descari that she made the deal with, but it doesn't really matter. Interesting. According to Aureliu Vorlesh, they required a true champion, not merely a living tool. So basically, just accepting their power like a doofus was antithetical to what they actually wanted from me and of me. Interesting. Articuno makes a sudden gesture, cutting Aureliu off, even though she's behind her and Aureliu therefore wouldn't be able to actually see the gesture to get that she was supposed to not continue speaking. Don't be too hasty. We've burdened him with enough revelations for now. Give him some time to become accustomed to the truth about himself, then you can share all the details. I don't know what the thing about the treason is. Does it have to do with Shamira or Hepzamira? One would imagine that she already knows about all of that. So let's see if we can get some useful information about the other people in the Abyss from her. I use the term people loosely, of course. Aureliu, Elven Archmage. Ah, the Elven Archmage. He's still alive. We know each other. Lonti. Tell him that the one who replaced him has disappointed me immensely with his incompetence. The answer to this is obviously no, since she is plotting to close the world wound. At the very least, she's not with Descari. Baphomet? Who knows? But let's find out anyway. The goat and the locust. Allies is too strong a word for our relationship. Our connection was forged by circumstance, not out of a desire to deal with each other. When the world wound opened, it tied your world to our realms. I did not join my armies with theirs when I was forced into making peace with them so as not to get bogged down in a tiring and distracting war. If I had the opportunity, I would have met them on my terms and expanded my territories at their expense. Nocticula indulges herself with a thin smile. Unfortunately, this is not currently possible. By the way, one of them came to me with the offer of an atrocious alliance that involved conceiving little ones together. I'm still contemplating the specifics of my refusal. It needs to be clear and unambiguous. Her ensuing laughter is deep and musical, or almost enchanting. And don't really care about this. Alright, hold on. Yeah, it's obvious you are naturally the esteemed Lord Goat and Lord Locust don't know a thing about the tree. Okay, yeah. That second option doesn't matter. The third one doesn't matter. Guess I'll take a look around. For a second I got lost. I thought back to when we had Ember talk to her, and it occurs to me maybe I should have tried to help Ember's case. Okay, I get it. So what? I don't know where this is going to go. Who actually still exists? There's only Hepzibah, Valexia, Shamira, could say Minago, but she's doing her own thing. And I don't really see anyone else. So let's see what happens. I wish to inform you of treason. Articular looks quite amused. Is that so? Who is it you've decided to inform on, and more importantly, how did you learn of these traitors and how credible are these accusations? Shamira is researching the Hindrian crystals in secret. Perhaps she is planning to overthrow you. A small smile appears on Articula's lips. How nice of you to warn me. I'm impressed. I do wonder, however, did you really think I was unaware of this, or did you merely want to demonstrate your loyalty? Either way, I appreciate you telling me. I will take this as proof that I can rely on you. Ooh, the aspect of the asp. You were very astute to uncover Shamira's desire to dethrone me, and it was particularly sensible of you to keep your mouth shut about the secrets of the Nihindrian crystals. I suppose your caution calls for a reward. Mining the Nihindrian crystals is a surefire way to sink the island the crystals are on to the bottom of the Ishiar. I assume you understand why all who attempted to procure them on Olympia were executed. At least you didn't tell Shamira about the mines you found. The last thing I need is the ardent dream burrowing under my capital. Why do you still tolerate Shamira? Someone has to deal with trivial matters. Shamira's betrayal was assured the moment I made her my favorite, just as the Foreigns before her. The second always dreams of rising to be the first. I know the feeling well. A friend of mine has peered into the future. In his vision, Hepzibah was sending demons after you. The demons were strengthened by the Hindrian crystals. A hint of dangerous excitement creeps into her voice. You are a font of knowledge, my dear guest. Let's just say I'm not surprised by her appetites. The ambitions of that brat or her lecherous goat of a sire were bound to surface sooner or later. But your warning will encourage me to keep a closer eye on her. You could have gone to Hepzibah with this and received a payment for your silence. Your foresight must not go unrewarded. There might have been something from Valexia, but I couldn't get to her in time. I'm probably just going to load the quick save that we've got, depending on how this all plays out. And by that I mean if I end up getting portaled back to Galarian immediately against my will, therefore completely failing the companion quests that are involved with this place, I'm going to have to, and then end up doing all of this crap again. But I'm not going to drag you guys through that. I've said everything I wanted to say. And so, what exactly are you offering me? See, weapons are tools, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm offering you the chance to become my weapon. Your enemies are a thorn in my side as well as yours. What's more, I have never schemed against Galarian, nor have my warriors taken part in the conquest of your plane. At least not at my behest. There's no cause for enmity between us. I think I understand why she wants to close the world wound. Remember, she said that the world wound, once it expanded, created connections between her realm and that of the other demon lords. So, and those idiots are coming in, they've got their people coming in, stealing the Nahindran crystals, which is causing the island upon which her realm is built to sink into the Ishiar. Or Ishiar, I don't really know how it's pronounced, because the voice acting stopped. I'm still going to choose one just in case there's XP to be gained out of my curiosity. And she wants to make an example of them by orchestrating their defeat by me. Cute. And what do I get out of this? A reasonable question. One must always serve one's own interests. Well, rest assured that you will be adequately rewarded. I will give you gifts befitting your ambitions, and my patronage, which you can certainly count on, will prove more valuable than any enchanted trinkets you could dream of. Someone's feeling generous. While we're at it, we might as well ask for immortality, heralded in like divine powers and pockets full of sweet pies, right? Nocticula lets out a condescending sigh. I can grant you immortality as well. If you think I will only reward the commander for his service, you are mistaken. I could grant every one of you whatever you desire most. You, underground hunter, would you like me to rid you of the curse of short life that haunts your tribe? So that your eyes don't grow weak in 5 years and your arms remain strong? I would love that, but I'll have to pass. I don't know what price demons demand for favors like that, but I'm sure I've got nothing to pay with. I'd rather die honestly whenever my time comes than live with a debt around my neck. If you're so powerful, why do you need me? If I were to make a move myself, it would start a war. Not that I'm afraid of doing so, but it would hamper my more important plans. Baphomet and Deskari could never best me, but they could sow enough seeds of chaos and spill enough blood that visitors from other planes would shudder at the mention of a Lushanir. No, I will wage war on my own terms in the shadows, and I will remain unseen until I drive my blade into my enemy's back. And since Gallifrey happened to send you to my realm, you have the honor of becoming my blade. Be glad you're wielded by skillful hands. We should also reveal how exactly our blade shall be employed. Nocticula silences Aurelia with a sharp gesture. We can discuss the details later when the moment is right. Now is not the time for idle conversation. So how exactly do you plan to close the world wound? She rolls her eyes. It is a complicated magical process. You will receive precise instructions once you've captured the Threshold Fortress on Galarian. There, at the exact spot where Lady Virelli opened the world wound, you will be able to close it. But first you'll have to crush the Guardians of the Threshold, and their forces are growing by the day. Hepzibah, Baphomet's daughter, is mining a large number of Nahindran crystals in my realm. These crystals are her secret weapon. No army on Galarian can stand against them. You must stop Hepzibah. If you do not, your world will fall, and my plans will suffer significant harm. At one time, I disclosed the secret of transformation to two servants of Baphomet and Deskari, Xanthev Vang and Tossifin. It was a well-calculated gambit which bought us time and assured both Deskari and Baphomet of my loyalty. Mutasafin is Hepzamir's favorite. He oversees the transformation of her army. Hepzamir is currently on another island far from here. The route to that place is plagued by pirates, monsters, tempests, and other more terrifying dangers. Have you heard of the living bubbles of frozen time that swallow airships, and when the ships reach port, their crews discover they've been gone for hundreds of years? That is not the strangest occurrence you could encounter on your journey. I'm willing to provide you with a decent ship and an experienced crew. If you kill Hepzamir, I will stop her sinking any more of my islands, but without giving Baphomet cause to declare war on me. Sela winks at you. So what do you think, Commander? Personally, I'd rather take my chances rowing to this another island far from here in a rusty bucket than make any deals with the Lady in Shadow. I'll steer. Why is it so important to kill Hepzamira? Deskari and Baphomet won't just stand there and watch you close the world wound. They'll send their armies after you, so you'll need an army of your own, and that is something the Crusaders won't have for long. Hepzamira is mining more and more into hindering crystals to empower her forces when she attacks Galarian. If you don't stop her, the Crusader resistance will be crushed, and the ranks of demons pouring through the world wound into your world will multiply 100-fold. You were sent here to cut off the demon army's supply of hindering crystals, weren't you? Well, that's exactly what you're going to accomplish. I'll think about your offer. And accept it, I'm sure. I respect your caution and won't force you into submission. We all stand to gain if you do my bidding of your own volition. A glimmer of approval dances in Nocticula's eyes. An interesting destiny lies before you, mortal. You will rise to great heights and play a part in events of titanic proportions. Many would give their life for a chance to tread such a path. Hepzamira visits the Lushanira every now and again, but her true lair is far from here. She hides on the island of Califir, to the northwest of my archipelago. There lies her secret fortress. In the deep mines, her slaves dig the hindering crystals for the invading army she plans to bring to Galarian. I will give you a magnificent airship and an experienced crew to take you there. It will be a long and perilous journey. Take some time to prepare. Oh, yes, I like this. If I am to depart for Califir, your guards must watch over my camp in the Nexus and all who are residing there. Nocticula nods regally. I will send my assassins to ensure that no harm comes to your entourage. Be grateful for my patronage, mortal. I've still got some business to take care of in the Lushanir. WeArEuS, you are no longer needed here. WeArEuS vanishes before you notice the look in her eyes, pensive and appraising. Oh, my mistake, I misread that. WeArEuS vanishes, but you notice the look in her eyes, pensive and appraising. Nocticula casts a piercing glance at the spot where WeArEuS was but a moment ago, then stops you with a commanding gesture. There is one thing we must discuss. The Lexicon of Paradox, Lady Vorlesh's magical treatise that contains many secrets of the world wound. You and my servant Lady Vorlesh were just talking about the Lexicon of Paradox. For many years it has remained split in half, harmless, but what was once divided can be made whole again. Who knows what power the book can impart to its owner? What if they expand the world wound even further, or connect it to other planes? Not a chance. The Lexicon of Paradox has caused more than enough trouble already. You already possess that first half of the book. Find the other one and bring them both to me. I will reward you handsomely. Giving the book into my keeping will also protect Galarian from suffering a second world wound disaster. The Lexicon of Paradox will be much safer under my watchful eye than in your travel bags. Wouldn't you agree? I'll consider your offer. The reward will not the reward will not disappoint you. I promise. This dangerous knowledge ought to be locked up securely. I won't keep you any longer. Well, that is what happened. So I'm going to quickly save, and then I'm going to send you guys on your way. We've spent already an hour and a half, well, not my mistake, not an hour and a half, an hour and 5 minutes together, and I'm sure you guys could use a bit of a rest. So, for my part, I'm going to handle, well, frankly, right now it's Friday for me, and I'm recording the videos for Saturday and Sunday. So I'm immediately going into recording the next episode. But I think I've got some other things I want to take care of in between. So I'm going to take care of that really quickly. But as for you guys, we're done here for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and everything you've seen here. As I already said, there will be another video tomorrow. I'm about to record that right after this one. So, you've got more to look forward to if for some reason you are watching this and have made it this far. I can't thank you enough if you actually have, because, I mean, as much as I enjoy playing the game, I enjoy having an audience to play it for even more. And so, with all that said, we will see you next time.
You see